What up? What up? What up? Hey, world, what's going on? As you see, by myself. Oh, I'm lonesome. Yeah, and if you tuned in early, I don't have no suit on no more. I couldn't do that no more. I was hot. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, I am going to be joined by my sister. Not the one without any kids, but the one with kids for everybody. Y'all want a kid? A quarter a day. Anyway, my other sister. Sister. What the hell? You frozen. What's up with your internet? What's wrong with your internet? There we go. Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Hey.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great. Wonderful. Got the green screen behind you? Okay. hmm hmm
I couldn't get a so
You say what?
I couldn't get an ADHD shirt, so
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You all right. Your wardrobe is cool. Um uh So if everybody saw it, I posted pictures and stuff. Today, that's why I put the top because you're gonna be here. So we're gonna talk about black love. That's what we're talk about. Black love. We still in February, first of all. So it's the month of
I got a couple of months.
Valentine's Day. And it's still Black History Month. So at the tail end of it. So decided to end it up with talking about black folks and loving each other, loving on each other. Uh Everybody don't know. My sister got married last weekend. Congratulations. She got the ring on. She got the ring on it. So yeah. So that's what we doing last weekend, and you will have another wedding in September.
Oh,
The
I podcasted.
huh?
I shall podcast it.
Yeah, September when? When is the date again?
Sport.
The fourth. Okay.
Mhm.
Good, because I'll be gone the week after that. So that's good. Good job. September the 4th. Okay, what's the reason for the second one? Anyway, what's the reason second one? You didn't do
Well,
it the first time? Was
the first we just did a little intimate wedding with the family, but I wanted my date. I wanted my February 20th date.
what is the significance of that date?
Hmm?
What's the significance of that date?
I'm just being extra because I like
Oh,
220.
jeez. Oh God. So it could be 22021. Oh God. Jesus. 022021. Oh Jesus. Oh, somebody help her.
I wanted my date. So, but
She need help.
September is, I couldn't. It's the big actual thing. So I pushed for my venue, for the photographers, all that stuff is being pushed back to September, where more people can attend. Hopefully, we'll have a better. Everything will be a little better with COVID and everything like that. The numbers were still rising, and I was just unsure about a lot of stuff. Plus, we had a lot of people in our wedding party that actually caught COVID.
Oh Jesus. Oh no.
Yeah, we
Oh
didn't want to
no.
bring. Yeah, his one of his groommates actually had it. Maybe in January. So we didn't want to go ahead and expose nobody with that. So we did the conscious and responsible decision and just pushed that back with everybody.
Responsibles. Responsible for peoples.
But I still gotta have my day. My
Okay.
day
And
for
that
I think
2021
two.
special. Special ass. Anyway, Lord. Okay, so we're gonna talk about black love, and the specific part of it is men and women, black folk coming together, loving each other, just loving on each other. Um, so earlier I talked about me. Did you catch the one earlier?
No, I
Okay.
was
Oh yeah, you a bad sister. Anyway, we talked about we talked about Kevin Samuels and
I saw you post them.
situation over there. So on this one, we're not going. We already talked about that. What we're gonna talk about is from a woman's standpoint of first dating. So let's go back long time ago before you got married. Long time ago. It's a long time before you got married. You know, dating,
First,
single woman. What? What's
what
that? Before the first marriage? No, not the first marriage.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, you could do that too. I mean, you have experiences in two different decades of yeah, so yeah, you can go back there. So marriage in two different decades, but dating as a black woman with kids. Okay, yeah, because well,
So we
yeah,
covered
well,
dating
yeah,
with kids versus dating with kids.
yeah, yeah. Let's go back to dating with kids because that's you know
Yeah, it's. I would say to me, as a female dating with kids, you gotta be you got to be more cautious when you're bringing people around your kids. Like just because you're with somebody or you're intimate with somebody does not mean that that person's supposed to be introduced or exposed to that kid unless you know for sure that that is moving in the right direction that you're looking for. If it's just something that y'all just casually dating or whatever, I don't think it's right for you to bring another man around your kids because that means that that child is eventually going to get emotionally attached to that person, and that person's not not meant to be there, or not, you don't know what the intention of that person is going to be there for long term or not. So, and to me, it's scary dating when you have kids, and that and not for the person that you're dating.
okay. So with okay, first let's back up to before the date. Let's talk about meeting men. Um, meeting men with kids. What is at what time would you let them know you got a whole village at home? Um, you got kids. I'm sorry, that you got kids. At what time would you let them know that you have children?
And day one,
Day
I,
one. Okay.
yeah. I don't want to surprise you like a month down the road, like, oh, I got XYZ at home, because I definitely want to know how many you got off rip.
Okay. So and
That's,
so letting them know that what how receptive were they to the fact that you had children?
I had three at the time, so a lot of people was like, oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't no bad. It wasn't no, like, they didn't never back off because I had kids.
Mhm.
So if I'd have said I had like six or seven, then I think that probably would be a whole different conversation. But I never
So
like,
you never got anything negative from anybody.
mm-mm,
Okay, so
mm-mm.
so
I
yeah.
guess because I didn't present my kids as, oh, you know, they're a package, and you like putting the sole responsibility of, if you're with me, you got to do this for them type stuff. And that's some females come to the table as, oh, well, you got to do this for these kids. Those kids are not these man kids.
Okay.
That's not their responsibility.
Okay. And I've heard that also. You know that when they come to the table, when they start off top talking about their kids, well, you're going to be expected, or this is what you do because I have kids, and
That's
like you
nothing to do with, once you get into a soulful relationship. I mean, I would say even more so marriage.
said. Mhm.
So then it's more of a, y'all are sharing the whole thing, but you're dating this man. This man is not obligated to take care of none of your kids. That's why you have a father, a baby father for. And if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, that's not that man's fault.
Mhm. There was a post. I don't know if I shared it with you, but um, basically it was saying if they go out to dinner and the woman asks for the kid to bring some food home for the kid, is the man
Mm-hmm.
wrong for not doing it? You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you think about that?
Um. So I would say, is he wrong? I don't think the kid's supposed to get what we eat. So if we out here getting filet mignon, and you thinking it's you supposed to bring a whole dish home, can we stop at McDonald's? Can we grab the kids something to eat or whatever the case may be? Still in my head, I just never was a person that depend on nobody. So in my head, hey, the kids didn't eat nothing. I'm in my head, I'm planning on paying for my kid. But I'm also looking at you to try to see, oh, if you're gonna go ahead and don't worry about it, whatever. But I'm already prepared. I don't put that responsibility. But if you do come out your pocket and be like, here, I got it, don't worry about it. That's a plus for you.
So is that expected, kind of, sort of, low key expected from?
No, no, not for me.
Okay, but I'm saying you think for women in
Females in general, yeah.
yeah, Yeah, so they so see, and this is the thing, right? So I understand it from women in general might be looking at it like, well, I need to see if he's gonna look out for me, my kids. But as a man, right? Think about this as a man. This you trying to test me. This is a test, and you using my money to have a test. You using me. You give me a test first of all, and then you trying to tap into my pockets just to prove a point to you. And why should I prove that point? Like, why should I even prove the point?
You haven't even gotten to know each other to that point for me to even
Yeah,
go
to even
out.
do that, to even jump through that hoop. It's like
Right.
and it'll happen on a first date. So let's say it was a first date. We're on a first date. I don't even know if I want a second date at this point. I don't know, too much of nothing. You
Exactly.
know.
I think
And
it's
go ahead.
so naturally if you see a man is actually you got to see what a man mindset is at. Like it's not just a man just digging in their pockets because they buying you at that present time. Anybody could go off the rip and dish money out in the beginning just to catch you, and once she got you and switch it up on you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see what that man mindset is at as far as him asking about that means more to me. How's the kids doing? What's the kids doing? What they're doing in school and this and that. That means more to me than you're going out and buying my child a meal, because
Mm-hmm.
all that will lead up to that at some point. You're thinking of my kids to even ask them how their day was and this and that and the third. So all that money stuff, money come and go. That's anybody can buy anybody.
Yeah, and from a man's standpoint, also, I'm like when I was out there dating, act a bunch of serial dating. Um, the thing that used to like stick out to me when something like that happened, I'm looking at you like, okay, you didn't take care of your kids before you came out here. That's the first thing. I used to like a woman that was not a good mother to me was automatically canceled. Like in my mind, I can't even deal with you. Like that off back. It's like I don't. Why would I deal with you and you didn't put your kids before you coming out with me and get a meal? That's a huge huge turn off for me. So that
It's a,
while you're testing me, right? Hey, I'm putting the mirror back on you. Hey, I'm looking at you like, okay, you failed the first test.
right.
So I
Yeah,
think that's a lot. Go ahead. I didn't say it again.
carry your kid versus a real relationship. You're not looking for a real relationship if you just, let mama get back to you type situation.
Mhm,
Like you put your child on the back burner and mama
mhm,
about him find you a daddy.
mhm,
No, no. So it's a bad situation. You're supposed to have your stuff, your ducks in order when you're going out on a date. Your children supposed to be fed
mhm.
in a good area for wherever you at. If you're going out on a date and they're young and underage, they with whoever they with, and that's taking care of them. So not leaving them unattended and they're minors or they're underage and they don't supposed to be watching. Somebody supposed to be watching them and they don't supposed to be left at home by themselves.
Yeah, like I said, that was something that was a big deal for me. And while I think while women are having or taking down notes, right? If a man is genuine about what he's looking for, if he actually wants a woman that to maybe settle down with her even long term. He doesn't know at that point whether he wants to settle down with her and marry her. He's looking for somebody that's going to be in his life for a certain amount of time, and to see if it grows to that point. Off top, these little games y'all play in his mind, it's why am I going through all this stuff?
Right.
You know, and I think that's where like the disconnect is between men and women in our community. At least I can't speak for no other community, but in our community I think the disconnect is the fact that you're as a woman you're looking from your standpoint, trying to say what men should be doing for you, and a man is not more vocal about what he's saying to you, what you should be doing for him, coming off not off top, like that comes later on down, but
Right.
he's sitting there, he's taking mental notes, and it's certain things that women talk to each other and believe that this is what a man's supposed to do, and he's what and then the man's like, okay, that's not my issue.
Right.
I'm trying to get to know you.
Right.
I can't even meet, and just like you said, he can't meet the kids, right?
Right.
In the
No.
beginning, he can't meet the kids, so that hasn't even entered the realm yet. That hasn't entered, that scope. You're putting the carriage before the horse, actually.
Right.
So I think that's part of the breakup is the fact that we tend to do things out of order in the black community.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't know how to take it slow. They don't know how to. They want everything to be speedy Gonzalez. They
Mhm,
want everything like, oh, I met such and such, and then like I said, just bring in your man, the man around them because you like them or he's good in bed. Like that has, you have to get to know that person before you even bring them around your kids. He can be Freddy Krueger.
mhm,
So like that was my whole big old thing. You see too much stuff going on TV about these people, these boyfriends killing their stepkid. Too much
mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
So you using your children as a pawn, trying to move up in life, trying to get this good guy so y'all can see here, so you can live a better life because the baby daddy not doing what he's supposed to be doing and stuff like that. But you running a risk of seeing here, putting your children in harm's way at the same time
All for the sake of a relationship, trying to get in a relationship.
to say you got a man or whatever. Not to say you have a good man, but you just got a
But
man.
you have a man because you don't know yet at that point whether what's his character.
All right.
Um, I always said this like to women when we start talking about this subject is that um kids make you more vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
to whatever's out there. From the aspect of physically vulnerable and then emotionally vulnerable from the fact that if you're out there looking for a man to be this role model for your kids, um, you're more open to entertaining people more so because you have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like in our community, I made this point earlier during the show, the other show, um, that majority of women in our community hasn't had a father to where they can have a gauge of what man they want around their kids or what type of man, what kind of characteristics a man should have. So I think that in itself opens up a lot of chance for a lot of negative happening in
Mm-hmm.
our community in black women's lives. And because you see whoever you see on TV, you make that assumption that that's what men are, and you judge based on that. And they're selling stories to our community,
Of course.
and we can't differentiate between the two. You know, the fact these stores is this man is whatever he was, and then he everything turned out fine, right? It's going to turn out good, and I think that's why a lot of our people suffer from the image of a man when it comes to trying to date him, and then they turn out to be that he's not that fictional character that you see on TV. He doesn't equate that, and now we have some kind of hatred or some kind of animosity to a man because he doesn't equal up to what we viewed on TV, and it's it's stuff like that. I think that women trying to date, need to kind of further understand, look into the person you're dating, find out who he is as a person, his ins and outs. And like you said, be like Speedy Gonzalez, right? I think I tell women all the time, like patience is your friend. I know a lot of women aren't patient.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. They aren't patient, and it's like patience is your friend. You need to know this person in every facet of their life. Good time, bad times, struggling, when they're hurt, you need to know that person in that. And when you know that person in all those aspects of their life, then you know who you got.
And I think what's the females down part and how we set ourselves up for failure is because when we just need this man, we just need this shell of a person, and we can mold that person into who we need them to be, and we can change them, and we can get them to do this and that and the third. But once we get them, and then we got this, oh, we frustrated, and we going back and forth, and we getting these arguments because that person is not willing to be this fairy tale that you're trying to create him to be.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's you
That's
trying to mold a grown person
instead
with.
of accepting him for who he is. This is who he is.
Mhm.
Like it or not, if you this is not the person that you're looking for, then you need to move on
Move on. Yeah.
that person.
Mhm. That's something I had. Hey Ashley, what's up? That's something I had an issue with. like I said, dating and stuff is that um I am who I am. I grew up and I made it all these years, 20 something years, whatever. I'm the person I am. Whatever characteristics I have is because of whatever past I can, whatever I, overcame or whatever I've been through in my past. And for you to try to push me to be what you want me to be, um that what that's saying is that we good, Ash.
Hey, how are you?
What you're saying is that I need to be a carbon copy of for you to be even happy with me. I need to be a carbon copy of whatever you have in your mind
Hmm.
for you to be happy with me as a person.
Hmm.
And because of back in the day when I was dating, I had a saying that I tell women is that you have to want me. I mean, you can't just want a man. If I find out they just want a man, then it's kind of it's kind of I'm kind of through with the situation because you don't know me. You don't know like until you figure out what I've been through in the past, until you figure out like my ideas on certain things. Um, I'm not going to fit into your box. You
Hmm.
know, you're going to be. I'm saving myself time, in other words, because I know already I'm not going to fit into that box that you have. So why waste all that time? And that's something that I think, like you said, I think a lot of our sisters they try to mold men. They try to build men to what they want them to be, and for most part, men are they're creatures of habit.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, I mean, if they care about you, they say they love you, or they might have strong feelings for you, and
Hmm.
they'll change
So
because. Say it again. Go ahead. You cut out.
you getting to change certain aspects of guys, that's something totally different. Like, say for instance, you just got bad habits that me and you've been together for X amount of time, and certain stuff I want you to work on. That's one thing. But just me just telling you, wipe your slate clean and change everything about you, I really don't like you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You really can't say you do. You don't like the core, who you are to your core. You don't like them.
Right.
Um, you like the image of them. That's
No.
what it is. And I think so many people fall for the image of somebody.
Right.
The swag, the whatever. They fall for that, and then they later on down the line, once everybody becomes comfortable with each other, people start falling back in their own programming. You start once you get comfortable, you start, letting the pants down, letting the belly out, and stop sucking in so much. And then I was like, damn, look, I don't even why are you here? And that's what I think. And
They stop trying.
it's not even about trying. I mean, well, they're trying to be somebody they're not. Yeah, I guess so. So they're trying to be somebody they're not in order to
Right. They
please
got.
you at the time. Yeah, to please you. And I don't think is about trying to get the person. It's about being with somebody you want, because let's say he actually genuinely likes you. I'm saying from a man's standpoint. I can't speak from a woman, but I'm saying from a man's standpoint, right? He actually genuinely likes you. He likes certain things about you, and it's you. It's actually you he's focused on, right? He hasn't asked you, and I mean, anybody that's watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know many men that's going to ask a woman to change who she is in order to deal with her, right? When he go out to and see you, it's face value.
Hmm.
Now, I mean, and we're not talking about like, yeah, I don't like your hair like that or whatever. I'm not talking about surface level. I'm saying at the core, like change who you are to be with me.
Hmm.
I don't know any black women that's gonna like really kind of do that unless they got trauma or some kind of self-esteem issue. But I don't know too many black women like, okay, look, you got to take me where that's a saying. You got to take me as I am, whatever. So
Some females, believe it or not, a lot of females do change who they are. They
mhm,
change who they are to be with this person because whether they're changing their appearance
mhm.
or they're trying to change certain ways about their attitudes, but mostly you'll see black women changing their appearance for y'all.
And I'm speaking on demand now. That's what I'm speaking. I'm not saying doing it on their own. Like if you're doing it on your own, that's a totally different situation. I'm saying on demand. A
Oh,
man is saying, you got to do that if you're gonna be with me,
yeah, yeah,
Just like women, you got to make a certain amount of money. You got to, you
right.
got to, drive something in order to be with me. Hold on. There are some men that do want women to change whom they are. Okay. All right. Actually, after they get with them, like after they get when they're in a relationship and they want you to change who you are, like the core of you. Not I'm not saying looks. I'm not saying the way you dress. I mean, because that goes like men are visual creatures. So if they think you look sexy in something, or they like you in something, that's to me that's a whole different situation. I'm not talking about surface level. I'm saying, uh, and you know what? I retract that because if we're talking about religion, right? Men have got women and want them to change religion, or
Hmm. Yeah, I know people that did that. Yeah.
and yeah, I should say yes, not all, some, not all men.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I retract that actually. Religion or whatever, but that's based on their faith.
But that should have been a conversation y'all had again in the
Up
beginning
front, yeah.
when y'all were talking about kids. Like that, all
Mhm.
that's a major part. Even though, I mean, everybody have their own beliefs and stuff like that, but just certain stuff in my in with me, wouldn't flow with me as far as religion wise purposes, just because how we were raised and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
if you don't believe in God, period, then that would probably be a downfall with me and you, and we probably wouldn't go no further
Mhm.
because I believe there is a God. So so that aspect, you want me to change in that part, we wouldn't make it. I couldn't even consider that. So, but you again, like you said, it just depends on that person. That person could have money and all this different other stuff. So they do choose to change those aspects because that guy has money and this is what I need to do in order to be with this guy.
Just give up too much damage. What are you talking about, Rose? Too much damage. What?
Obvious. State the obvious. Just pop into state the obvious.
It's a little delay, so I'm not sure what you were saying, which point you was making.
But
Just give up. What you mean by just give up? Yeah, we're waiting for that to come through.
okay,
Black love is like finding the tooth fairy. What? Just give up? No, no, no.
not
That's not the
necessarily.
message. No, no. Is we all as black people, we all damaged. And that's the problem. Is everybody is damaged, but
We all come with baggage.
yeah, but you can find somebody that you can deal with their baggage and they can deal with your baggage, and there you go. Y'all help each other get past whatever it is that's going on.
I feel like even you come into a relationship, everybody's gonna have their issue. You're gonna have your story to tell about what your previous relationship is, just like I have my story to tell about my previous relationship. It doesn't. It's a Your previous relationship is supposed to be a teaching process. It wasn't supposed to hinder you from going forth and scared to go venture into another relationship. It just warning and signs that stuff that you need to look out for your next relationship. Once you get in it, but I don't believe that there's a person is doomed that love doesn't exist in the black community. I don't believe that.
And I actually say black love is available. Searching for black love is not
Hard to find.
trying to find. Yeah, and what I want to say on the whole thing about like searching for black love, I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on um so Rocky says struggle love is not a look. No, I mean it doesn't even have to be struggle love. I mean, a lot of people put too much emphasis on the package. They put too much emphasis on certain things, and if it doesn't line up,
Mhm.
uh line up what's going on around you,
Mhm.
or you have these ideas, these you have these things that you're looking for in your mind, right? um doesn't mean it's possible to find that. I mean, you're talking about a person, a human being that's flawed. You're talking about somebody that is their own person, and um, they're gonna be, there are billions of people in this world, right? We
Mhm.
all got somebody that looks like us. They all probably have two people that look like us, but the makeup is different. The person's upbringing is different. The person's experience are different. So finding love, you have to find somebody that matches. That they're appealing to your eye. It don't have to be a beauty queen for men. I'm talking to men now. It don't have to be a beauty queen for men. They're appealing to your eyes, and also they um they have characteristics that you can live with. I can live with that. I can live with a woman that has these views or does whatever she does. Shit, we see black love every day. You talking about crack people, they buying over crack, But on a serious note, I mean, you just have to find there's nobody perfect. We have to understand there's no perfection out there. It will
Exactly.
never be, you're going to be sitting still waiting for somebody perfect to come along, and life is going to pass you by. You
And
just need to go ahead.
all aspects of life, we all have the same issues, the same hangups. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Whether we're black, whether we're white, it's still, even in their community, they gonna have run into the same issues as far as what their expectation, what they're looking for, and what they're bringing to the table and their baggage and stuff like that. It's no difference. It's being realistic when you're going into a relationship or going when you're dating. You're being realistic in what you're looking for. We're not going to sit here and can expect everything to be magical because it's not. You're setting yourself up for failure if you're going to
Mhm.
sit thinking that you're going to get everything that you're looking for in one person.
And I've heard that also. Well, Ashley said we as women have a specific ideology on how black love look, and
Right.
that's the thing. I think a lot of let me go to the second point before I say this. We aren't willing. She said we aren't willing to work for healthy black love.
Too
Too
caught
caught up on what you see in the media. Correct. And that's my problem. Is the thing is when you look at other people with other people doing, you look at these images. We fed too many images, and what it does, it keeps us wanting more. It keeps us longing for something different than we have. Off top, what we have next to us right now isn't good enough because we saw it was on
Mhm.
TV. We saw it was in social media, and there's been studies of this that there's been study. Yeah, Ashley did podcast, and it was expectations versus reality. She did that topic. Um, there's been studies on it showing that the effects of social media on people's brain and how it releases endorphins in their head when they get certain reactions from people, and when they don't, you put a picture up, and one picture gets so many likes or loves or whatever, then it's like a high. It's like endorphin, whatever, dopamine. I'm sorry, it releases dopamine or whatever. And versus if nobody ever responds to it, now you have a low, like it almost depression because nobody responded. You have highs and lows based on what you see on social media, which is kind of creating a problem. Well, the problem is there. It's helping the problem out.
Right.
It's putting a microscope on the problem, and I think that that goes against our us even getting together. I mean, it puts a wall in the middle of us because you have your idea of it, and whatever men subscribe to and see in that image is social media, which is going to be, it's going to be more visual. You um, their idea of what a woman's supposed to look like, they're going to be attracted to that based on the images they see,
Mhm.
and it's not realistic when you come to people older, like when you come to women in their 40s,
Mhm.
right? It's not it's not going to be you're not going to find many women with that type of figure as you see women in the 20s or whatever, or even the augmented bodies, right? That's not yeah, you could find somebody that done it, but why would you want that? And then the second part of it is everybody's not going to be able to afford that. So if that's what you need to do to be happy, you're limiting yourself as a man to finding happiness because you're looking at something that somebody's put in front of you, um, as a idea of happiness. Hold on a second.
As their personal, how they're
We have become so consumed with social media for validation. I agree,
right.
Rocky. I don't have anything. I don't identify as we. My pronouns are I and me.
Oh,
I don't- Okay. Okay. You don't. Okay. So you don't identify as we. You mean in a relationship? Because that's going to be a problem. If you don't identify as we as a relationship in a relationship, that's going to be a problem. You that that goes against relationships. That goes totally against what relationships are about. I mean, it's about blending and and this is my ideology. Um in a relationship, I'm no longer focused on myself. I'm focused on the other person.
mhm.
The other person's supposed to be focused on me.
Exactly.
If I'm focused on the other person, they ain't focused on me. We have a problem.
Exactly.
We have a big problem. And I need to start now need to start saying I and me. Now I need to start thinking that way. But
Right.
until I see that, then that's not my thought process. My thought process is that what do I need to do for this person to be happy what's going on. I'm concerned with their feelings. I'm concerned about their emotional health. I'm concerned about their physical, if they're doing okay every day, are they doing okay? Um are they in good spirits? I'm concerned with that stuff because actually when you're concerned about that, it reflects on you because if they're not in good spirits, how can you be in good spirits? If you love them, if you care about them, it's one and the same.
Right.
Like
For
it's go ahead.
somebody, and you actually looking and worrying about them, and their reflection of, okay, well, dog, he really cares. So you're giving them example of what your expectation, or this is what I'm looking for. I'm always checking up and seeing how you're doing, and this and that and the third. So therefore, that person, you making them to be a better person for them to do the same in return.
Mhm.
You got to build some type of foundation somewhere. You can't be about self, because that you're not in a relationship if you just weren't about focusing on what you need to do to make yourself happy. You might as well date yourself at that present time.
And I've asked this question in the past also, like when I see people or women trying to and I'm gonna say shame for lack of a better word, shame me for the way I think or do certain things. It's like, okay, everybody does stuff different. I mean, if I was gonna do it, if you wanted somebody that's gonna do it your way, you need to find somebody that's gonna do it your way. You don't need to be with me. I am my own person. I am flawed and I have my way of doing things and it gets me results. Um, we need to stop thinking of a collective is when it comes to that. Like what you see on TV. Well, it needs to be this or it won't have this end result. We need to stop thinking that way.
Thing about it is, we don't know what everything that we see on social media, on TV, when the cameras are off, we don't know exactly what's going on in the background. Like we don't know exactly how that person really living when they're not in front of that camera. Of course, we can turn this camera on and pretend like we this and that person. That don't mean that person's happy. Don't mean that relationship is successful. They doing this all for clout and all for social media and for likes and views and money.
Mhm,
Don't mean these people are happy. We're trying to live up an image, not knowing what these people' real struggles are behind the scenes.
mhm. And also like with the thing about communication, this is a big thing for me because um like women want men to communicate, right? And which is rightfully so. They need to communicate whatever's going on with them.
Mhm.
But what happens is that when you look at certain shows, and I'm gonna call out Tyler Perry because th- this happens, this is his basis for almost everything he has. It's a certain type of communication between men and women, and it's like this is scripted. I mean, it's a man is not gonna say everything perfect. And what happens is that women tend to believe that a man should say this because they say this all the time. Well, you should have said it this way. No, I shouldn't have. I said it the way I say it because that's how I
Well,
feel, or that's how I articulate stuff. That's how I express myself in a certain manner. So this is how I say it. Now, if I'm saying something wrong, if I'm saying something that is not factually correct, then yes, check me on that. Talk to me about yeah, that's not right because whatever. Because this, that, the other or Or if I'm saying something disrespectful, then yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. I'm being disrespectful. Yeah, we could talk about that. But to say that I'm not saying something, I should have said it in a different way based on the fact because you don't like how I talk or how I express certain things. No, I mean,
Are you referring to the tone of the delivery, or
um, no, no, just the way it comes out. So, so certain things women have in their mind, like men should say certain things.
mm-hmm,
Okay, let's say like proposal.
mm-hmm,
We gonna say like a proposal, right? You have something in your mind that a man should do.
mm-hmm.
So a man having his mind, he's proposing to you. You're not sitting there writing with his. He's
Right?
proposing to you in the way that he feels whatever necessary or he feels that he's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
That's not for you to,
Yeah,
that's not for you to tell him he's wrong for doing whatever he does.
right,
And I've said that because that's something that women actually think about. They actually have a dream, they daydream about that, or they sit and give a lot of thought to how they want to be proposed to.
right.
And but that it has nothing to do with what you have in your head. It has everything to do with the man because the man is the one proposing. So that's the only thing that came to the top of my head. I mean, not really delivery wise, but it's just like the idea that you have of what somebody should say in a certain situation.
Now, I would say it in that aspect, but as far as like if me and you having a disagreement with
Mhm.
something, and you is not what you say, is how you say certain stuff. I do agree on that because your tone and your delivery can change the whole way the conversation can go. But for me, just writing down and trying to critique how you wanting to show express how you feel towards me. Now, I don't believe in scripted.
Or express love, even at that. Let's go to that.
Right.
Expressing the love. I mean, get. I mean,
It's
just
scripted.
get.
I don't.
Yeah, it's scripted. This heartfelt speech or this heartfelt words that he's using and certain things he's saying to you that make you feel all warm inside. That's men don't expect that from women, but we expect y'all to do what y'all do. Hey, we have sexual thoughts like that, but not just in communication and everyday whatever. This is specific, very specific what men expect from that. Um, I should say learning how to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
And the thing is, yeah, it can be it can be effective. It can be effective if both if somebody's listening, if they don't have thoughts already how you should do something. That I think that's another part of the breakdown is that yeah, I always say this, men are not very good communicators. I agree. I mean, I'm not going to push back on that. Men are not very good communicators. Um it's because men they're always working by themselves. They're comfortable working by themselves, doing things by themselves. Um a lot of jobs we have is jobs where we have to go out by ourselves and do our own thing. We don't spend a lot of time communicating with each other and doing stuff. We do our thing, and we might talk about it later, but we're not going to communicate why we doing this or how we doing this or whatever. It's it's very vague when we communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So what women want is us to communicate past that vagueness. They want us to get in depth with our communication, and that's just not how men are wired sometimes. Um, and I do, yes, Dash. Do you think that starts in a child? I do. It. Go ahead. What you say?
I definitely believe it starts with
Yeah.
the child because if you have a two parent household and you have that man in that household is showing their children, we learn from our parents.
Mm,
So we're watching our parents how they interact with each other, and whether dad is sitting down talking to mom and how he's talking to mom, all that plays a part on
mhm,
how we are as adults. And if you don't see dad just ignoring mom or blame, brushing her off and not really showing, this is how it is, then yeah, you grow up to not having too much to say to your woman and you doing the same thing that your dad did to your
mhm.
mom. So it all plays a part when you was growing up.
And, and and not even that. Let's go to the point where let's say it's only a single parent household.
Mhm.
Boys and girls are raised differently. I mean, boys aren't most of the time like a mother will not ask a boy. everything that's going on with him or get in depth with him. As long as he's playing and outside running, he's doing his own thing majority of the time. Girls are more expressive. They're gonna, oh, I want this and I want it got to be pink and I want it, and they're very expressive and it gets nurtured because it's a woman raising her, so she's bonding with her in a womanly way about women things. So yes, she's very expressive. She starts to talk a lot of stuff, whereas the woman cannot understand when he's talking about GI Joe with the kung fu grip and stuff. When he's talking about certain things, she doesn't understand that, so she can't interact with him the same way. He cares about that kung fu grip or that damn high that karate chop motion, or something like that, or the Tonka trucks or the Hot Wheels with a certain details and stuff. And it's not how a woman thinks. Um, she's not going to think about certain things. And Ashley said, and that applies to women as well.
Definitely do.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely starts as in your youth. And what I think happens a lot of times in the black community is that when um when black men grow up and it's expected of them to know certain things. You should know this. You should know how a woman thinks. You should know how to please your woman. And that goes against communication right there. It's like y'all want us to communicate, but then y'all don't want to communicate with us when it comes to certain things. You should already know. You should already know what it and okay, what? You know, you so and that goes against everything. Like you want to be a woman, you want to be looked at as a different woman than the last one, right? You don't want me to compare you to another woman, but I should know what a woman wants, right?
Well,
It goes against everything that you're trying to have me to do.
well, if you're in a relationship with a person, and we say that, we're basically saying, if you should be knowing what me as you should know me better than that. You should know this and that and the third. So therefore, if it's something that's, say for instance, birthdays, a female big on birthdays or whatever, you should know I'm big on this area, and you sit here watering it down, and you should know me better than that. So when we sit here, we walk around with a certain attitude with ourselves on certain instincts. We feel like we've been with y'all long enough to know certain stuff about us that we shouldn't have to go into details and tell y'all.
Yeah.
Or y'all not paying attention to us, but y'all pay attention to certain aspects that's going on when the game comes on, or when the Jays come out. Oh, y'all can tell us this and that and the third. When the Jays drop it, you can tell us the time and the date.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all can't tell us, oh, Chuck, well, my girl, she big on Christmas, or she big on this and this and that and the third. So that's what we get attitudes with y'all about. It's not just we expect y'all to read our minds, or you should just know what a woman likes, because every woman likes different stuff. But you should know what your woman likes.
Okay. I agree with that. I agree when it comes to that point. Yeah. Um, but I've heard that when people ain't talking, yeah, in that aspect, yes, I agree with that. But I've heard it when women just going out dates with a man and they don't even know the man. They're like, yeah, you should know. I've heard that aspect. You should know. You should already know what a woman. You grown man. You should know. And it's like, okay, no,
So
you
run,
can't say that. What is that?
run for the hills,
Hmm.
because
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean, we tend to in our community. Once again, we talking about the black community. Anybody that because it says black love. Use your vowels. This is black love. Yeah. We tend to keep up a lot of tension, based on trying to get what we want, and it's trying to force what we want, basically, not trying to force what we want. Um, from a man's standpoint, like this been going on. I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media. Um, this poly lifestyle, right? So men are trying to get that now, which, if she's not like that, then you should never try to force a woman to do anything she don't want to do. Sexually, you should never try to force a woman to do something she doesn't want to do.
come
Uh,
back.
say it again.
It's gonna backfire.
Yeah, it's gonna. Oh yeah, it's gonna backfire. Um, but it's we're trying to force things that we want, saying that's gonna make us happy, and we, as human beings, we're really truly never. fully happy with one situation. We're gonna move the goalposts. We're gonna, after we got that, we're gonna want something different. It's just how we're wired. Um, and
And even in poly, having an open relationship and having two partners, that just double the trouble to me. Like you're still dealing with two females, two female needs and wants, and what their expectation that they want out of you as one person.
Mhm.
So I mean, you're always going to encounter with problems, regardless if you're in a single one-on-one or you have two mates. You still going to encounter with, and like you said, you're never going to be 100%. You're just looking for something that's momentarily going to fix, make you feel good temporarily. That's all that is. We want what we can't have, and when we get it, then you're looking for something
Yeah.
different.
Or it becomes the norm, and we get bored with it.
Bored with it, yeah.
Yeah. And now it I'm not going to say poly doesn't work, but it doesn't work in this civilization well. It takes a certain type of people. We're in a Western civilization. Um, we've been we've been living in a monogamous world for a while, and it's been passed down generation to generation. So it goes against our wiring.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm certain religions do it, and I haven't. I don't know much about it. The Mormons or whoever does it, I don't know much about it, but I know they do it. And they have arranged marriages also, so we
Right.
don't do that. So that's a religious belief thing, and you can't touch people's religious belief. That's faith based.
Right.
So I mean, they do it and they make it work because their fate tells them that's what's supposed to happen.
But
So
brought up like that, and they
yeah.
like they already seen it. So we're sitting here forcing it into our situation that we
Mhm,
were never brought up around. It,
mhm.
it's all new to us, and we're trying to make it work, but we don't know nothing about that lifestyle. And certain stuff, if you don't, if like you said, if both parties are not already within that mind setting, eventually, say for instance, if a female decides to, you know what, I'm gonna do this just to make him happy. Eventually, it's gonna come to a point in her life where she's gonna realize, what about me?
Mhm.
You've been neglecting yourself for so long. It's all gonna backfire. He's still gonna lose. He's gonna be at the end and losing table because eventually she's gonna fall off.
Well, unless it's triad. Now, there's certain different pilots. If she's into women, then it's something
No,
different.
I'm saying the people that's not. The people
Okay, yeah,
that's
yeah.
not
It's forced when you force the situation.
yeah, to please that other person.
Uh-huh.
They might last for a minute, but eventually at some point, if that's not who they really are and they don't like sharing and don't like another female, but they're just doing it just to go along with it, eventually it's going to backfire.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty like Janet Jackson, what about Janet Jackson? Was she was doing a pilot?
I didn't,
I don't know nothing about that. What
but
about
like
what
so,
about Janet Jackson? Ashley, I don't know about that.
who she did it with? What's his name? Jermaine.
Oh Lord.
I know.
Yeah, that was a boo thing for a second. That was a boo thing. She rocking hard with Jermaine Dupri. I didn't understand it, but she rocking hard with him.
Yeah, yeah, she did. Did she end up marrying somebody or whatever the case may be? But I mean, that's my aspect. Like not who I am, so I can't see him be like, oh yeah, I can go for that. Like even when I dated or
Oh,
previous relationships, I've done stuff just to make that person happy, knowing that that's not
see how she conformed for the father of the child. Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
um
yeah.
even if it's not who I am at that time. I'll make myself okay with it, but eventually it's gonna all come back around in a circle and be like, Trina, you tripping. What is that person doing for you? Will he go above and beyond and do the same thing, or uh, put this part on the line, his stuff on the line, just to make you happy? And at some point, I got to deal with the reality of it. The answer is no.
Uh-huh. And then I mean, you have a choice to make. You can't.
Yeah,
So the thing I see it happen sometime is that people fail to make that choice, and when it all goes to shit, finally, they're angry about the fact that but you had a choice to make, and you didn't make that choice. I
right.
mean, you didn't do anything about it, so you don't have any control over the situation, and you can't be angry at that person. They're doing,
You
what's
would
it? Go ahead. Say it again.
I said you definitely can't be mad at that person because that was a decision that you made. They didn't take that. They didn't make that decision for you.
Mhm.
So
Actually, I'm not.
me either.
You ain't gonna have my pH balance out of whack.
Me either. I'm with you. I'm not about to be in no gynecologist every other week playing around. Nah, not happening. Not
I'm gonna stay away from that.
happening.
I'm gonna stay away from pH balances and all that other stuff. Um,
Not
yeah,
happening.
yeah, but yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, it's enough people, it's enough women, there's enough men, there's enough people that'll do it that want to do it. I mean, I'm in Facebook groups that are poly groups, and there's a bunch of women, and I'm like, wow, when me and Nicole did the we did the poly blackout session, and I thought it was gonna be a bunch of white. I thought it was gonna be a bunch of white women that was in it, and I saw there was African American groups and poly groups, and I'm like, wow. And then we had a African American woman, and we had a Hispanic woman
Mhm.
that came on the show, and I'm like, I did not know it was that big in the black community until I got in the groups, and I'm like, wow, and they're serious.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're definitely serious. They have their own community.
Yeah, and they do what they do. I don't even think it's a trend. I mean, Ashley says it's a trend now. I don't even think it's a trend. I think I think some of them are trying to be closer to our ancestors, our ancestry. I think a lot of them are like natural people. They rock the dreads and all that stuff, and they're trying to be more African, living in more African, Pan Africanism. That's what it is, like Pan African or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're living a certain lifestyle, so it's not a trend for them at that point if that's the lifestyle they're living.
Mhm.
Yeah, some of them are just they just doing it because they want to do something, And I'm going to call out the men for that. I see the men mostly are doing it because they looking for the sexual gratification of two women, and but I think the women that are in there actually in it. They believe that, Um, polyracers weren't talked about as much as it is. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, but it's like taboo. I mean, it was real taboo because people don't agree with it. For most part, people don't agree with it. That's like back in the day, like back when we was in high school, whatever. Ashley, um, men weren't talking about eating,
Right. Yeah.
women were talking about sucking. So, it's one of them things. Until it got popular,
Oh,
that's when everybody started talking about it. And
right.
now they eating other things, and I'm like,
But that go back to the music.
yeah,
Music
yeah, that's true too.
making it natural, so it's making you
Yeah,
comfortable to be like, oh, shucks, yeah, I done did that, and da da.
yeah. This is the thing to do if you want to be popping.
Mm-hmm. You won't be like Lil Wayne. You better get on it and
Oh
get them groceries.
yeah, my mouth salty. Hold on.
Get the groceries, brother.
Sorry, yeah. But yeah, I mean it's all programming. People really don't understand that even with the black love thing, it's programming when it comes down to it. It's what we see. Yeah, that's me. That's what Ashley said. Because media has made it cool to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, it's programming. Even with black love, we don't see this or as it being it, but it's programming. Follow leader ass people. Yes, follow leader ass people. Yes, ass people. Um, they don't see it as programming. Even, when you watch images on TV or in social media and then you long for it and you start to walk in that type of walk that type of way of expect that to happen, then you're being programmed.
Mm-hmm.
And are you really going to be happy? I mean, when you change up something based on what society does, are you going to be happy? Because what's going to happen, society's going to shift again,
Of course,
and you're going to shift with it. So
it's always gonna be changed.
yeah, it's always going to be something changing, and you're not controlling it. You're not controlling the changes, which is you're on somebody else's roller coaster, basically. And
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before that I don't want to be on nobody else's roller coaster. I don't want to do that. I don't live my life that way. I want to be able to say what I want to do when I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, now I'm talking about in a relationship, it'd be us saying what we want to do, how we're going to do it. But as a as a singular, I want to be able to say, yeah, I don't subscribe to what what they say on TV or what they say in media. I don't subscribe to that.
Like,
And then look for somebody. Which go ahead, say that.
like eating groceries.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, and in the partner I'm with, I want us to come together and agree upon and compromise to whatever it is. I'm gonna stop above the butt crack. If I'm gonna pretend I might blow, but I'm not. No,
Just
there
know
you go.
that's what
There you
it
go. Whoop, whoop.
is.
And then keep on moving. Hey, we gonna pretend on that one. Ashley said, when Ply said he likes the sweet pussy, these men
Then
were
me,
crazy. Were eating everything. Yeah, they were eating everything. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
And,
definitely
and, and women was expecting them to eat everything. That's what it was. Women was expected. They was crack.
talk shit about y'all when y'all wasn't. You ain't listen to the new
Ashley, Ashley, stay away from my booty.
Me too. I agree.
You got some booty warriors out here now. Fleece Johnsons.
Can't kiss me. That's why I don't believe in kissing people.
Oh,
Bitch. Oh, buddy.
you got a little, you
I
got a little,
your
you
lip.
got a little, you got a little crumb right there on your cheek. What is that brown crumb on your cheek?
Just had cookies.
Ugh, 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 ugh.
When you
When they gonna put corn in cookies? What the hell? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think I, I believe love is out there. I believe if you like be realistic about your expectations, I believe you can find it. You can find black love. You be realistic about your expectations. I think it'll take a lot of self reflection.
Mhm.
It'll take it'll take for you to have to just sit with yourself and understand what you want out of life, not what you see other things going on, but what you want. Um, like we're caught up in being so extra nowadays, so we can say we did something. We're caught up in that. I mean, that type of life. I mean, as a human being, we don't need much to survive or be happy. We don't need much.
Right.
You know, when you come together as people, I mean, if you talk about two people, you need respect and love. That's all you really need. I mean, outside of that, it varies outside of that, but the foundation, the basis is respect, mutual respect, and loving that person. Then you gotta like them too, I guess. I guess you gotta like them.
You have to like them.
Sometimes you love people you don't like them, but still, you love them.
You can like somebody and I mean you can love somebody and not like them.
Yeah, you love them. So like you might not like them all the time, but if you love them, that'll carry you over. Ashley said, and now women are sucking because Cardi B said, "Let it touch the tingly thing in the
In the
back of
back
your
of
throat."
your throat. Nah, sister. I want to keep all my stuff intact. I ain't listening to Cardi B. I ain't listening to Cardi B. Cardi B. Cardi
Cardi B
also says she don't cook and clean, but she lying to y'all.
Cardi B lied. Yeah, Cardi B lied. And that's the whole thing. Like I make this argument. I make this argument a lot, right? That the fact that these women are listening to certain things, even grown women, like, grown women are following what they hear, what they see. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what age, 40s, 50s. Like you can hear it. Like certain things when you see something happen on reality TV, like reality TV. Next thing you know, you hear the women sound like that. You hear stuff that women are saying. You be like, okay, where you get that from? And it's popping. It's popping now. And then you be like, okay, where to get? Because they're following what they seen on TV and they're acting that way. They're acting a certain way. Because remember back in the day, like women didn't. Well, you didn't see women have altercations in public and so ready to just act the ass in public. They respected themselves. You held yourself to higher caliber that you weren't going to be out in public acting the ass. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's all right. Okay, that's I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ash, loving hip hop.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
Oh,
now you see women out there and it don't if you ain't popping off in the street, girl, I would they're egging each other on. They're championing, ignorance in public.
but at the same token, they're not living that real life in life. Like they don't carry themselves like that. in real life. Some of them don't. Some of
Yeah,
them,
some don't, but yeah, and some of them don't. But and we're talking about women. A
yeah.
lot of women don't. A lot of women don't. But when you talk about young impressionable females,
Hmm.
young girls that are paying attention to this type of stuff, and then we have this next generation here coming up that's being about to be 2021 now. They're going to be that. There is just not going to be pretend. They're going to be what you see on social media. Why you thinking it's just entertainment? They are going to be the definition of whatever we see the women doing on social media, and you're going to see them, and you're going to look up and like then you're going to be talking about these girls, these young girls. They ain't.
They don't know. They wasn't raised right.
Yeah, they wasn't raised right. Oh, okay, no, because they're doing exactly what they see, that programming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got off topic because we were talking about black love, and we got to reality TV. As you say, the attention whores.
Horse.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So Miss Jackson,
Mrs.
Miss Jackson, you ain't no Mrs.
I am a Mrs. MRS, baby. I'm married. What do you mean? Miss MS is when I'm
Oh,
not.
I'm sorry. That's me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I've never been a Mrs. or a Miss, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been a Mister my whole life, so I'm sorry. Um, so what is let's give you the final word about finding black love, Miss Married Woman.
For the second time around.
Yeah, for the for the sake, the second time around.
Like I said,
She
be
said
real.
she'll support black love. All right, Ashley. Power to people. Go ahead.
With yourself. Like, don't sit here going off of these social medias. Be realistic. And actually, I'm not saying don't have a standard. Don't set a standard for yourself, but don't expect everything to be. People gonna just like you have flaws coming to the table. That person expect them person to have flaws. Just be okay with the flaws they have. That they're bringing to the table. If it's not something that you can't live with, then um move on. Then that person's not the one for you. Continue looking until you find that right one.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm her. I'm her. But it'll come. It will definitely come. Definitely will.
Patience, right? That's the key word.
Yeah.
Patience.
Too.
Was that
Communication too.
communication and patience?
Hmm. Hey. Hopefully when we able to come out this pandemic, I'll be at a game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. So the leverage, right? I'm gonna end it after this, right? The reason, so the leverage women have is, if you're patient, I'm sorry, you have leverage.
Hmm.
Um, that's just like going out and buy a car, right?
Hmm.
Somebody have a car and it's a nice car, and you could jump in if you want to and drive off if you want to, but you didn't have nobody to look at it. You had nobody to look at the engine. You had nobody to look at nothing. You had nobody to check it out.
Hmm.
But you jumped in and you drove off, and when you down the road, broken down on the side of the road, no, it's not the car people fault. You failed to do your homework. You weren't patient. You jumped in the first nice shiny thing
That's the good.
with four wheels and some rims,
Mhm.
and this is a lesson for women when you go and try to buy cars. Have it checked out. Don't just jump in the first nice looking thing that looks like it's that people gonna look at you and see you in, and you gonna feel like you're a boss in this car. Don't do that. You need to know what's under the hood. You need to know the suspension. You know a lot of things about what's going on. So you need to be patient until you find exactly what you want. It's out there. Patience is the key.
Hmm. Why
Yeah.
you like she said work yourself. Why you waiting for that thing? You absolutely need to work on yourself. Exiting out of one relationship is not good for you to just leave out of one relationship and jump
Uh-huh.
to another one.
Hmm. Yeah. because
So
you carry a lot from one relationship, and you jump another one. You still have that last. You still got the taste in your mouth from the last one. You want to jump in a relationship,
so the
so
person end up getting in a next relationship with is gonna pay for the
yeah.
mistake guy that you was with previously made.
And from a man's perspective, right? I hear a lot of men talk about that. The fact that you know, why I got to go through all this, and black women, well, you have to prove to me. No, actually, a man doesn't have to really prove anything to you. He don't. He has to be who he is. He has to be a man. He
Mm-hmm.
has to stand on his morals. He has to have, he just has to be a man. And if you can't, if you don't know what a man is, and you can't notice that he's a man, then that's on you. It's on you. He shouldn't have to prove that he's this type of man. He lives it. Like, just like you shouldn't have to be proved you're this type of woman. Your actions tell everything. And that's why I think, like, the breakdown in Black Love is that y'all trying to get men to prove a certain thing to y'all before y'all buy into it. And with the guys that are about shit, right? They're not going to sit there and prove them. They're not going to prove themselves to you. They're not going to play them games with you. What you say? I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Because they know their worth. They know the real men
Exactly.
prove it.
The way they walk every day proves it.
Mm-hmm.
The decisions they make prove it. If they get up and go to work every day and provide for themselves, and they look out for their family, and that proves it. That proves what kind of person that is. Just like as a woman, if I see you, okay, let me, ladies, there is no need, to shout out or tell a man who you are. I mean, that. So this the crazy thing, right? And this is how men look at it. Just how y'all look at when a man has to profess who he is. I'm a man beating on his chest type shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hate that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a turn off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when women do, well, I take care of myself and I do, I don't need no man. We don't hear that, right? We don't hear that. Yeah, you can feel that way. You can feel that way all day long, right? You can feel that you don't need a man to take care of yourself, which your actions prove it.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a job, you keep a job, you do whatever you got to do. The actions prove it, and I agree, Ashley. So Ashley said they need validation. I agree,
Mm-hmm.
but what that is, that's a turn off. What that does, that immediately, as this man's talking to you, right? Immediately, in his head, he's like, "Oh, that's okay. This is one of them," and he will move on. It's hard as hell to find somebody if you up front saying stuff. Another saying, I got another my ideology, right? Men talk themselves out the draws. Women talk themselves out of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Women, y'all do this every day. Y'all need, I mean, just be in your femininity. Be feminine. Be approachable. Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Those three things I just told you, right? Will get you, men will look at you. Just from those three things. It's not hard. It's not hard.
I would say, just as coming being a single woman prior to everything,
Mm,
some females we're proud that we are able to stand on our own 2 feet because of what we've went through in our life. We've overcame stuff and we've moved up the ladder in life
mm,
without a man's help. Not to say that we don't need your help,
mm,
but it's just like some men might have told them, hey, you can't do this without me. So
mm,
some females do feel that confident, that good feeling that I've made it thus far without the help of anybody.
mm,
But it's too many females walking around that we so accustomed to doing stuff on our own just because of the position that we've been put in. So
mm,
some females don't know how to fall back and play that female role and just be that female and let the man take the control and be the man that they're supposed to be.
mm.
Exactly.
And I'm not even speaking on the action. That's after he gets past, to a certain point, right? He sees the action. I'm talking about just having to say that, right? Having, when you meet a woman and you have to hear that from her, it's like, okay, you're supposed to take care of yourself, right?
Hmm.
You're supposed to do that. If you don't do that, then I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So just the whole thing that's saying you have to beat on your chest, well, I'm this, I'm that, just to have to do that, it's not attractive to women if men do it. So
Mhm.
it's the same thing,
Right.
vice versa. It's the same thing. Um, and what you was talking about, about falling back and being feminine, just being feminine. Um, this is always the topic, submission. So that always comes out, submission. And what's your thoughts on that submission?
Just like I said, some females like I'm gonna lie. Like in the beginning, it was hard. Like sitting here, not submitting,
Hmm.
but trusting that that person has your best interest and has your back. Like you've been doing for thus long by yourself. You're not gonna allow yourself to fall into a situation. So that's just being with a person that knows that person's not going to let you fall and have your back. You can assume your position as a female and trust and believe that he's going to do what he needs to do as a man. Some females don't is with guys that they don't know they don't even know where they're going to lead you to in a direction. How am I going to trust you if you don't even know where you're going?
So okay, so that's the point, right? This is the point of that one. Why are you even dealing with somebody that he don't know what he's doing? If you see that off top, why?
Might
That,
not get off top. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? Might
so
not.
so at the point you see that,
Yeah.
because the thing is, for so for you to be a feminine woman, you either feminine or you're not.
Hmm.
Um, either you're submissive to a man or you're not. I mean, if you're turning off and on,
Hmm.
uh, what it says to a man is that you're playing a role,
Hmm.
right? You're playing a role. So you're playing a role long enough for me to be in your life, for me to sign on to whatever's going on with us, get
Hmm.
involved with you, and my feelings involved, and then you can switch up at that point.
Right.
And that's what it kind of says. And I'm not speaking for guys that are not, taking care of their business. I'm not speaking for them guys. All right. I'm speaking for the guys that take care of what they're supposed to take care of, their responsibilities that are the men that y'all looking for. I'm speaking for them guys. Um uh y'all actually said the blind leading the blind. Um,
Exactly.
you know, when y'all and that's one of y'all get triggered, not you per se, but I'm saying women get triggered, when you start talking about submission, and they start going on a tangent about the fact that he have to prove to me this. Once again, the guys that you're looking for that are actually that way are not going to prove it. They're not going to spend that much time. Think about if you're out there dating, right, as a woman, and a man tells you you got to prove to me you're a freak.
Mm.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Turn up.
Oh, you gonna turn up and you got to okay? Hey, well, whatever. That's why you got 5 damn kids. Anyway, so you know, but most women, like, I ain't about to do shit. um, some don't understand how to submit and what it means. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, they have a perverted definition of submission. Um, okay, this how it goes out, right? This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about uh once y'all get together, you should know who you got, right? And if you're not submitting to that person, then that's not the right person. I'm talking about like you go on a date. So you go on a date, and what you're doing, you're doing everything that a man usually do. I can't hear you. Go ahead. What you say?
Go ahead.
Oh, you're going on a date with a man, and instead of letting him be the man, you're kind of overstepping your boundaries, right? You're being aggressive, basically. You're being aggressive instead of being feminine. We're on a date. You have aggressive energy.
Hmm.
You know, the waiter comes there, and you all aggressive with him. And the guy's looking at you like, oh no, oh no,
Yeah,
no. You know
I agree with that.
that's submitting to him as being the man. You're in the presence of a man.
Mhm.
So you should allow him to be a man at that point. I'm not talking about any major at this point. I'm not talking about any major reasons to submit other than knowing that you're in the presence of a man.
Mhm.
And if you want to be treated like a woman, you have to you have to fall back and allow him to be that person. You
Mhm.
can't you can't you can't expect him. What I'm trying to say is you can't expect him to fight you for that position.
Right.
Because what happens is that you meet guys that are not going to fight for that position. They're gonna let you lead. They're gonna let you do what you do, and they're gonna sit back and years later you're gonna have animosity towards this man because he allowed you to do that.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you didn't have to do that.
Mhm.
You know, a friend of mine, I told her I'm an alpha female, right? And she was like, how can I meet a man? I want to meet an alpha man. You probably won't. Alpha females attract beta men.
Yeah. You can't have an elf and an alpha.
You
It's not.
can't. You won't attract that. An alpha is not going to see you, alpha female, and be like, "Oh, that's sexy." He don't want that problem. He don't want to have a war in his household. He don't
Yeah.
want to have tension in his household.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna. He's gonna look at you from afar, and he's gonna move on.
Mhm.
And that's what I think women don't get. Like that alpha, alpha is masculine energy.
Right.
When you have masculine energy, you're gonna attract effeminate men. You're gonna attract beta men. Um, Ashley said, "Submission. Do you have my best interest at heart? Are you my safe place?" And that's once you decide to be with them. Then yeah, once you decide to be with a man, you should already know the answer to that.
Mhm.
You should already know the answer to that once you decide to be with a man. You should already know that. Um, if you go into a relationship with somebody and you don't believe that, but you get in a relationship with them because you women control you have control of your body. You have control over access to you.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be in a relationship, nobody can't make you be in a relationship. So, um, if you don't see that person has your best interest at heart and they're not your safe place, you need to move on. To sit there and get in a relationship and say, "Well, I'm not going to submit because he ain't this." You playing games with yourself.
Yeah. You wasting your time.
Yeah, you're wasting your own time. It's at this point, it's not the man's fault. You have all the information you need, and you chose to do something that was against your better judgment. It's against your betterment.
Mhm. Yeah. Your female intuition tells you already told you what it was in the beginning anyway. A lot of females don't listen to that person. So
Yeah, man, I'm tired of black love. Um, but like I said, you can find it. Patience. Um, you know, what you want is out there. You just have to be willing to be patient for it. Females, men, the women are always out there. I mean, I can speak to the men, but it's gonna be. And I agree, Ashley. I agree. A lot of them don't want to be alone. That's why they do what they do. But it creates a bigger problem by them um acting out of scarcity,
mhm.
right? When they act out that way, they make bad decisions. Would you rather do something right the first time, or would you rather do it multiple times and waste time with it? You're gonna spend time either way. But what you're gonna do if you do it multiple times, what you're gonna do, you're gonna pick up scars and baggage and everything else along the way. Well, you
Mhm.
could do it right the first time and take your time into getting there. You know. Well, I mean, and at that point, Ashley said, "Don't want to start over." No, but at that point, like I said, if you take your time and you pick wisely, if you take your time and be patient, um, you're not in a relationship at this point. Once you figure out who this person is, you're not really in a relationship, and you can move. You could move about.
Mhm.
Um, and
That's
also you can't be afraid to get out of a situation. That
right.
could be a detriment to you. You can never be afraid if it's not serving your purpose, if it's not healthy for you. You should leave expeditiously. Come on now, Ti, big words. You could leave you should leave off top. You should leave. I mean,
But that's a lot of reasons why we hinder ourselves and we hurt ourselves even more so because we're too lazy and we're too scared to start all over. And while we know what we got in this person, we're just gonna deal with it. But you hurt yourself because you too scared to start over, find and to start dealing with somebody and start a whole new relationship and get to know somebody, a new person. That's crazy. And you complain about being miserable and this and that and the third, but sometimes you do it to yourself just for being scared.
I should say trauma. Well, actually, trauma bonding is well, that's toxic. I mean, that's both of them toxic. I mean, yeah. I mean, it could be that, but we're talking about somebody that's just not right for you. I mean, if it's just not right for you, and sit there and you're actually what you're doing. You're holding on to hope. That's what it is. You're holding on to hope that things will change, and it's things don't change unless you make an impact on it, unless you do something. Kinetic energy. It's something sitting still. It's not going to change unless you do something to make it change.
Yeah.
And that's what once again going back to the program, right? That's something in programming. Oh, some people stay because they bonded. Yeah, they trauma bonded. Yeah. But going back to programming, that's the reason people don't do anything different because media and different stuff like different movies and TV shows tell them, "Oh, just ride it out. It's gonna change. Just
Mhm.
ride it out." And I'm not talking about if it's a good foundation. If it comes from a good foundation, y'all come from a good place, and then you started having hardships, misunderstandings, or whatever. If y'all start having that, that's a whole different subject. That's a whole different topic. I mean, yes, you should write that out. I mean, basically, at the end of the day, what you do, you take you two pieces of paper, get your pros and cons, or you separate it in to two parts, pros and cons. You start weighing stuff out. Cons outweigh the pros, then you need to be doing something. Y'all need to have a conversation and allow this man to, and I'm saying man because we're talking about females at this point. And could be vice versa with men talking to women. But you need to sit down and have this conversation about whether this is working, and will it work 5 years from now? Because if you don't fix something in the present moment, you have a problem, it's going to keep coming back over and over again. It's not going to solve itself majority of times. It's gonna either rear its head again, or it's gonna snowball into something else that you can't take care of or you can't deal with, and you're gonna leave anyway. So emotionally, broken or whatever, you're gonna leave anyway. So why not take care of it up front?
Right. I agree. I totally agree.
Black love, we can find it anyway. You got anything else to say? Because I done beat black love in the head.
I beat it up. No. Like you said, women. Well, people. You're not gonna just say women. We got patient and just uh, take your time when you're when you enter in a situation with somebody.
And okay, let me tell you why I say women. The reason I say women is because men are gonna approach. I mean, men are gonna approach women regardless.
I'm gonna look for the food can.
Yeah, we're gonna approach women regardless, whether we have good intentions, bad intentions, or whatever. We're gonna approach women regardless. But women have to use some kind of judgment. They have to judge what they allow to come in their space.
Yeah.
You know, for most part, men do the chasing for most part. So that's why I said, I was speaking to women. I'm gonna speak to the majority. Now it does happen the other way around, but that's not the majority. So
Mhm.
that's why I was addressing women. I'm not being. Don't call me misogynistic. Please don't try to cancel me. Please, no. I'm trying to help y'all out.
F.
What you say?
When y'all go on POF, be patient for when y'all dealing with these men on POF.
Yeah, I wouldn't. First of all, don't deal with men on POF. I would not. No, I'm not.
There are some characters.
If you want to laugh, if you want to, yeah, if you want to laugh, yes, go to POF.
I've never seen nobody sit here and had a successful story and say, "Hey, I met my husband off of POF."
Yeah,
Never.
I'm sure they have them, but that's not the norm.
One in a million. but that's not a normal. That's just
Not anymore. Mhm.
a booty call with site. That's all that is.
Mhm.
And
That's yeah.
pure
That's
entertainment
about what it is.
for women.
The hookup site.
Pure entertainment. I've seen there, been on there, and when I first got to Georgia, pure entertainment.
Mm. Yeah.
Pure entertainment.
Hey, you get whatever you find. I mean, you find whatever you're looking for.
Make sure you be specific on your profiles.
Mm. If you looking for black love, stay off Pure F. That's all. That's all. Stay off Pure F. I'm not gonna even. I'm not. I'm not even gonna
You ain't gonna find
try
it.
to try to act like that's even a viable option. No, no, no,
It
peoples. All right, people. I'm done. Uh, See you next week. Sister, thank you for all right, sister. Thank you for thank you for joining me with the topic. And uh yeah, so I tried to come up there to see y'all Friday and I got called back into work. Hey, I did turn right around, getting off of 104, exit 104.
we talking about?
And I said I was gonna come over there by y'all, by mom and them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, they term they told.
Yeah, they called me right when I was getting off. And Ash just said she gonna create a she gonna create an OnlyFans. Okay, go ahead and make that money. That's something totally different. That ain't about black love.
And it's so happy you might find somebody in the mix of at least your coins. You got your coins.
Yeah, I'm not gonna,
Got your coins.
not gonna do that
Don't
one.
sell for free. Nothing for free in this world.
Do that one
There you
either.
go.
Okay. Anyway, peoples, I'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Yeah, Nicole will be back next week. She'll be back from out of town and on ADHD hour. All right. Peace.
Bye.